What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and good day to you all. It's time for Mastemon, and as we all know, Mastemon has just received a major, well, it's not a major wave of support, but it's a nice new addition to Mastemon, and that's BT22's Mirai Bikigera. Now, Miss Mirai is not like the rest of the Tamers in the same set that 95% of them got the, jump your memory to 3. And while being disappointed in that scenario, and how I'm kind of really not a big fan of the new Mirai, I will say this: after a couple of test plays, I don't mind the new Mirai, but wish she could have been the memory setter we needed, not the subsequential addition of insert lineup of cards here to try to fill into some weird gap that Bandai should have tried to fill in instead of trying to fill in a gap for Gundam. Because, oh boy, that was a thing. So, I'm going to go ahead and go into my Mastemon updated deck profile, and I hope you guys enjoy it, because trust me, it's been giving me some cycles. So, starting off are my Digitama. 4 copies of Tokamon from BT14. We're then going to move on from Tokamon to go into our rookies. I'm running 4 copies of BT14's Patamon. From there, I'm also running the 4 copies of Cudamon from BT13. And then last but not least are my 4 copies of Salomon from Structure Deck 10. From there, we're now going to go into my champion level Digimon, my level 4s. I'm running the 4 copies of Gatomon from Structure Deck 10 with the 4 copies of EX6's Gatomon as well. Then I'm just running 2 copies of Devimon from BT11. Now we're going to go into our level 5s, and of course the BT11 fun and love is still here, as I'm rocking 4 copies of BT11's Angelomon, and then 3 copies of Angelomon and 3 copies of Lady Devi from BT11. We're then also going to add in my 3 copies of Angelomon from EX6 and 3 copies of Lady Devi from EX6. Now that's not going to round up all my Digimon, because we're going to go into the Megas, and I still have a little room on the table. So the 4 copies of Mastemon from ST10, and then 2 copies of Mastemon Ace from EX6, the 2 copies of Ordanimon to round up the last of the cards as well. So that is it for all of my Digimon, my digital monsters, and now we're going to go into my Tamers and option cards. Well, actually, I'm not even running any option cards in this deck. I know that's a little strange to say, but with how compressed room it had to be, there are no option cards. There are possibilities of option cards, but there's just none in here, and I'll explain later. For my Tamers, I'm just simply running the 3 copies of Mirai Mikigura from BT11. 2 copies of Mirai from BT22. And then the last of my Tamers is 3 copies of Kari Kamiya from BT8. So that's literally all of my Tamers in the lineup. And as you know, I cannot get me any Mirai Mikigura from EX6. I've tried. I'm just going to wait for the reprint coming out next year, and I'll just pre-order what I need in subsequent order from that. Let's go into this deck. If you do have the money and you do have the funds, then yeah, you can run 1 copy of Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. I have a Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. I even have a Shine Greymon Burst Mode Ace that can easily fit into these decks. The thing is that I have other decks that I'm still building that also utilize those Digimon as well. And it's very hard to stretch a lot of these cards and lineups because they're so thin. And even with reprints, Shine Greymon Ruin Mode is still very expensive. Why? Because it's still one of the most played level 7 Digimon in the game right now. That is followed up by, of course, the other level 7 being Death Xmon, and then now Gallantmon and them are joining in. So it's more so of who's really good for the generic setup or the generic follow-ups, and then who's really good just to burst through. My opinion, Death X and Shine Greymon Ruin Mode are definitely the big contenders, but there is still a lot of other issues that, you know, some other decks, when they get their specific level 7s, they work it out really well. Now, I've said enough about that. Let's talk about what's in this deck itself. So I'm using yellow base to start off with my rookies. In most of my other builds, I would be using a purple base, whether it's Demi Meramon or it's the Nyaromon. Now, for Tokamon here, I went for this one because I am adding a lot of cards to my security stack and then gaining beneficial and wanting the beneficial effects. One of these beneficial effects is Tokamon's ability to draw me one card when a card is added to my security stack. And it can be pretty handy. It's a definite handy situation that Tokamon helps out with. That's why just for this build, I'm playing around with the yellow base so I can play around with some more options. But it kind of looks like I might go back to my full purple, with my purple base, but splashing a lot of those cards that can digivolve into yellow or purple Digimon from the Digitama to also help out with those ends as well. But that is my Tokamon. We're going to now go into my rookies. I'm running 4 copies of Patamon from BT14, who can, at the start of your main, check your security for a vaccine Digimon, digivolve into it, and then take a vaccine Digimon in my hand and place it into my security stack, which is great because I'll trigger Patamon's Inheritable, which is once a turn, I can gain a memory for when a card is added to the security stack. In addition to Tokamon's ability, not only will I be gaining at least 1 additional memory, but I'll also be able to draw a card. This Patamon has seen a lot of love in play, especially in decks like Mastemon, in decks like Yellow Security, 3 Great Angels, especially because of how much access this card has to help finishing up the issues in some cases. Now, while some want to use the yellow base to take advantage of this Patamon, which is what I'm doing now, I still don't mind a purple base. I wish we had a Patamon, or at least a dual-colored Digitama that I could easily take advantage of that's purple and yellow. And still to this day, we don't have dual-color Digitama, and that would be really great. Or for those who, in English, DigiX. Alright, moving on from there are going to be my next rookie, and that's the 4 copies of Cudamon from BT13. This Cudamon helps me by simply revealing top 3 cards to my deck to add a yellow Digimon with the trait of Vaccine and a yellow Tamer to my hand. Since Kari and both Mireis are yellow Tamers, those are easy targets for this Cudamon. I really don't use the Cudamon's second ability to reduce the DP of a Digimon by 2k, but it's just, you know, standalone practice for being added into the deck. If anything, I'm using this Digimon to help me get to my Tamers as soon as possible, so then that way I can utilize the other resources in the deck that are needed. The next up is Salomon from ST10, and it's simply just as a way to act as another form of helping with DNA Digivolution. While Tailmon is a level 4, sometimes I'm not going to be able to Digivolve into that Tailmon, or I want to play that Tailmon for a hard 5, or use her from other abilities. So I have decided to basically just go ahead and skip that, or at least take advantage of, you know, the additional option in which I can go ahead and utilize another form of DNA Digivolution, because at end of the turn, DNA Digivolution definitely will help with a deck like Mastemon, which was one of the 2 that coined the at the end of this turn DNA Digivolve, because of course the other is Imperial Dramon. So I'm running the 4 copies of this to help out with that scenario. You don't have to run it, it's perfectly fine. From there, we're going to go into my champions. I'm running the 4 copies of Tailmon from from ST10 and 4 copies of EX6's Tailmon. I love these Tailmon. I know their names are Cudamon in English, but I love calling them Tailmon. And with respect, I love what they both do. They're both searchers to add 2 cards to my hand. Tailmon from from ST10 will search the top 2 cards of my deck to then add a yellow and a purple Digimon to my hand among them and place the rest at the bottom of my deck in any order. EX6's Tailmon adds a card with the trait of Angel, Archangel, or Fallen Angel, and 1 Mirai from among those cards to my hand and place the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. This helps me out tremendously because while one Tailmon does it just on play, the other one does it on play and when Digivolving, which works in conjunction to a lot of the effects that tend to bring back Digimon onto my field. In addition to that, while EX6's allows me to get to Mirai as soon as possible, unfortunately Tailmon from ST10 doesn't. She came out way before Mirai finally got a card in the card game. But her other ability is that when digivolving into an Archangel or a Fallen Angel, you can reduce the cost by 2. So Tailmon can then become Lady Devi or Angelomon at a cost of 1. Really helps out with how this deck itself operates. Now, in terms of their inheritables, EX6's is just DP reduction, but my girl Tailmon from ST10 is just like her Salomon counterpart, where they're going to help you DNA Digivolve so you can get into Mastemon as fast as you possibly can. From there, the only other champion is Devimon, who I'm bringing Devimon into this because Devimon is really, really good for Mastemon. She can bring it out, either Mastemon can bring it out with, actually I think all Mastemon can easily bring out this Digimon because it is a level 4 or lower Digimon. They all target that. Some get for the Angel, Archangel, Fallen Angel, while some basically can pick up a Digimon from the hand or field and place them onto the board. While doing such, that also triggers Devimon's own ability, where if you control a yellow Digimon or a Tamer, it gains Rush and Retaliation during your turn. And since I'm playing a wide range of that, Devimon is definitely going to be doing that. Not to mention, with some inheritables, Devimon can not only become a inseparable Digimon with Rush, but can also be an inseparable Digimon with Retaliation and Blocker. So it can be a very nasty thing with this Devimon. I would play the Angemon from the same set, but that's more room I'd have to make in this deck. From there, we're now to go into my alternates, my level 5s. So we have the EX6's Angelomon and Lady Devi. Let's talk about these two. Both of them have their own already to go abilities. They have Lady Devi with her Retaliation and Angelomon with Barrier. If you don't know what Retaliation or Barrier are, basically Barrier is take the top card of your security and trash it to make sure that your Digimon does not die. While Retaliation is that when your Digimon would be deleted, you delete the Digimon that deleted it as well. So it's a give and take situation. Two very polar opposites. But on player, when Digivolving, these ladies shine as if they have their tamer, Mirai Mikagura. Miss Mirai allows them to do certain actions. Angelomon can select the Digimon your opponent controls and give a security attack -2, reminiscent of that of the structure deck variant. While Lady Devi has the ability to delete one Digimon with a level of 4 or lower. Now, while those seem very minuscule, their other abilities is to play Mirai. Lady Devi plays Mirai from the trash if she's not on the field at the end of the turn. You can play one from the trash, while Angelomon plays that Mirai from the hand. So it gets to your tamer as soon as you possibly can. The other abilities are Alliance and Scapegoat. Scapegoat is not bad as it helps you keep your Digimon in play. If I were wearing variants that were running stuff like Gabumon, Tapirmon, oh trust me, they would love to play around with this Lady Devi and her ability to Scapegoat. While Angelomon, on the other hand, Choose the inheritable of Alliance. By suspending a Digimon on your side of the field, your Digimon gains that Digimon's DP for their own, and a security attack -1 until the end of the turn. It's naughty, but sometimes these things come with their own risks versus rewards. We're now going to move on to the ST11's not the ST11. We're going to move over into BT11s with Mirai's Angelmon and Lady Devimon once again. Now, their inheritables are amazing inheritables. They give retaliation and blocker, which is very, 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 very useful for both Angelmon and Lady Devi, because there was so many. It's a great way to have some more inclusivity. And at the time when these two came out, Mirai was the talk of the town. Mastemon was the talk of the town. Sadly, it's not as much as it used to be, where a few pop-ins here and there because of certain engines. But I love these two because they're so polar opposite to each other. It's ridiculous. Lady Devi and Mirai will allow you to trash one card from your hand to then return a Mirai or an Angel, Archangel, or Fallen Angel from your trash to your hand. Then, Miss Lady Devi over there, love her. She can check your, when Digivolving, will check your security for an Angel, Archangel, or Fallen Angel. Add that card to your hand, and then recovery +1. While both of them have the abilities that if the other Digimon is played, or their respective tamer Miss Mirai, they gain 1 memory. And while it doesn't seem too solid on paper, no, these are really amazing effects. A really amazing lineup. Now, why am I running 3 of each? Is simply because, well, these are your core pieces to go into your Mastemon. You need one level 5 yellow and 1 level 5 purple. In addition to that, some of your Digimon and some of their tamers need the specific cards to be played. I could throw in a Lucemon fall down mode. I can throw in my disgruntled and dismayed backup of Omega by Swords Defeat. We just like we're yawning. Nah, we good, fam. We good. We could. There are options, and if you don't want to cash out for the, the Shine Greymon Ruin mode, there, bam, I gave you another option. You can play around with, oh boy, Omega Swords Defeat. From there, we're going to go into my Megas. I'm running still 4 copies of Mastemon. This is the one from Structure Deck 10, who has the, of course, when DNA Digivolving, select when Digivolving, you can select a Digimon with the level of what? Oh, any purple. Level 4, any purple or yellow, level 4. Put them into your security, take them out, take out a level 5 or lower, place it onto the field, and then with her own ability, during all turns when a Digimon is played to your field, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a level equal to or less. Boss Girl shot. Just high level, high stats, DNA Digivolve, clear the room, clear the board. She's here, she's mothering, and she's awesome. Still, one of my favorite iterations of Mastemon. The second is this one, her Mastemon Ace, which needs specific DNA Digivolution for its Blast Evolution. When Angelmon, 1 Lady Devi, no exceptions. On player, when Digivolving, you can play 1 level 5 or lower Angel, Archangel, or Fallen Angel from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. And then on top of that, the whole trying to which is good, is sending the sending a card on your opponent's side of the field into the security and then trashing your opponent's security. No, the bottom of the security to trash the top cards of your opponent's security until they have 4. Talk about some ruthless, huh? Yeah, this lady, this Mastemon, she does not play. And she really works into this deck, as I'm just running 2 copies of her. The last Digimon, of course, and actually I don't know why I scooted those over, is Ardonimon. DNA Digivolves off of 2 level 6s, one purple and one yellow, and she does a board wipe. When DNA Digivolved, of course, you select one level 6 or higher Digimon, and then all level 4 or lower Digimon, and then swoop. Automatic removal. And she has the ability to trash your top card of security. So she gives you security for wiping out your opponent's board, and for each card she wiped out with the ability, you recover a +1. Only to then, if she dies, you can bring her back and trash the top card of your security. I honestly and truly think that while yes, Shine Greymon, Ruin Mode, and Dex Death Xmon are great additions, things would have to be worked out to keep a lot of other additions into the deck. It's just how it is, but hey, if your build works for you, go for it. Mine works for me. Now, from there are my Tailmons, and like I said earlier, I am not running any option cards, but there are tons of options you can use. Chaos Degradation, you can use the Amber Memory Boost, you can use all types of resources, but I want to be heard out. Mirai, BT11. At start of turn, the memory, okay, fine. But the getting into your Angelmon Lady Devi when the other one is Digivolved into, suspending it to not only be able to play the other version from your hand, but then that triggers their own abilities and sets up for things as well. So good. Mirai from BT22. This is the one I gave a ton of shit to. Still kind of really do. But I'm only running 2 of her. Test drive, see how everything is floating, and just, look out for things. The last one is Kari. And this is pretty much my triple threat. Kari for my jump to 3, Mirai for the on play. I can trash a Holy Beast, my Archangel, Fallen Angel, or a regular angel, or a CS trait. CS means Cyber Sleuth, to then be able to draw 2 cards. But at the start of my next main phase, I can send her to the bottom of the deck to then play a Mirai who is 5 or more in cost, or a Cyber Sleuth card with a cost of 4 or more. So, ouch and to that request, but does give some insights here. Mastemon from EX6 is very sensitive. Once she gets her reprint, and hopefully many of us don't have to break arms and legs, we'll be able to have her in our decks then. Hopefully by then, someone mentioned to me, I hope Mastemon gets some new support soon, because this last wave from Mastemon support was very lackluster. Don't blame them, and definitely agree with them. So it is kind of a better double-edged sword technique where we ask for new Mirai, we ask for new Angelmon Lady Devi, and then from the looks of it, it looks like we just getting scouts. So yeah, overall, well, I'm yawning and trying to push myself through this. It's still something solid for me. It could be room for improvement, but hey, I'd rather not deal with bills. But with that said, with that in tow, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get ready to go to sleep because this is the end of my Mastemon deck profile. I'll be in the comment section if you guys would like to hear more of my thoughts and ideas behind my my Mastemon deck. And if there are any other additional questions and stuff, comment section is open. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification bell to be warned for more content. Socials are in that description box below. And I'm exhausted. I will catch you guys next time. HPJ signing out. Take care.